What if I told you that buried deep within Tolkien's writings lies a weapon so powerful it could have single-handedly changed the outcome of the War of the Ring, yet barely anyone knows it exists? Today we're diving into one of Middle-earth's most overlooked artifacts that makes even the One Ring look like a trinket in comparison. Before we uncover this forgotten legend, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we're about to explore the kind of deep lore that only the most dedicated Tolkien scholars discuss in hushed whispers. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be questioning everything you thought you knew about the power dynamics in Middle-earth. The weapon I'm talking about isn't some flashy sword or mystical staff you'd expect to see in the movies. No, this is something far more subtle, far more dangerous, and infinitely more game-changing than anything wielded by Gandalf or even the Witch King himself. This is the Elessar, and its true power goes far beyond what most fans realize. Now, you might be thinking, wait, isn't the Elessar just Aragorn's name? Well, that's exactly the kind of surface-level understanding that keeps most people from grasping the true magnitude of what we're dealing with here. The Elessar was actually a green gemstone of incredible power, created in the Elder Days and possessing abilities that could have reshaped the entire Third Age. Here's where things get absolutely mind-blowing. This wasn't just any pretty rock. The Elessar was crafted with the power to heal and renew all living things on a massive scale. We're talking about the ability to restore entire forests, bring life back to barren wastelands, and even reverse the effects of corruption and decay. Imagine if someone had wielded this during the scouring of the Shire, or better yet, during the height of Sauron's influence. But here's the kicker that'll make your jaw drop. According to Tolkien's deeper writings, there were actually two versions of this stone created throughout history. The first was made by the Noldor in Valinor, and the second was crafted by none other than Gandalf himself during his time in Middle-earth. Yes, you heard that right. Gandalf, the wizard we thought we knew everything about, secretly possessed the knowledge to create world-altering artifacts. The implications of this are staggering. Think about every major battle, every moment when hope seemed lost, every time our heroes struggled against seemingly impossible odds. What if Gandalf had simply unleashed the full power of the Elessar? The devastation at Helm's Deep could have been reversed in minutes. The corruption spreading from Mordor could have been pushed back like a retreating tide. Now you might be wondering, why didn't this happen? Why didn't Gandalf just wave his magical healing stone and solve everyone's problems? This is where Tolkien's genius really shines through, because the answer reveals something profound about the nature of power and responsibility in Middle-earth. The Elessar represented a fundamental choice between intervention and guidance. Gandalf's entire mission was to inspire and guide the peoples of Middle-earth to save themselves, not to become their savior. Using such overwhelming power would have violated the very principles he was sent to uphold. It would have turned him into another Dark Lord, imposing his will upon the world, even if that will was benevolent. But imagine for a moment if circumstances had been different. Picture a timeline where Gandalf's restrictions were lifted, where the Valar gave him permission to use the Elessar's full potential. The War of the Ring would have lasted weeks instead of years. Saruman's industrialization of Isengard could have been undone overnight, the forests regrowing to reclaim the land. The paths of the dead could have been cleansed, freeing those tormented souls without need for Aragorn's dramatic confrontation. Here's another twist that'll blow your mind. The stone wasn't just powerful, it was prophetic. Its very name, Elessar, meaning elf stone, was destined to become associated with the king who would restore Gondor. This wasn't coincidence, it was fate weaving itself through the fabric of Middle-earth's history. Aragorn didn't just randomly acquire this name, he was fulfilling an ancient prophecy tied directly to this forgotten weapon. The tragic irony is that while everyone focuses on the One Ring as the ultimate game changer, they completely overlook a tool that could have prevented the need for such desperate measures in the first place. The ring was about domination and control. The Elessar was about renewal and healing. One sought to bind all life to its will, the other sought to free life from corruption and decay. Consider how different the Fourth Age could have been if this power had been fully utilized. Instead of the gradual fading of magic from Middle-earth, we could have seen a renaissance of natural wonder. The Grey Havens wouldn't have been necessary as an escape route for the elves. They could have stayed and helped rebuild a world more beautiful than ever before. This raises uncomfortable questions about the wisdom of the Valar's non-interference policy. How many lives could have been saved? How much suffering could have been prevented? The Elessar represents the road not taken, the might have been that haunts every tragic moment in the War of the Ring. What makes this even more fascinating is how Tolkien embedded this knowledge so deeply in his legendarium that most readers never stumble across it. It's hidden in appendices, scattered through letters, mentioned briefly in poems that seem unrelated to the main narrative. This wasn't an oversight, it was intentional mystification, reflecting how true power often remains concealed from those who would misuse it. The Elessar ultimately serves as a meditation on the nature of power itself. Sometimes the greatest strength lies not in using overwhelming force, but in choosing restraint. Sometimes the most profound victory comes from empowering others to achieve their own triumph rather than imposing your will upon the world. So next time you watch The Lord of the Rings and see our heroes struggling against impossible odds, remember the forgotten weapon that could have changed everything. Remember the choice between intervention and inspiration, between dominion and guidance. And remember that in Middle-earth, as in our own world, the most powerful weapons are often the ones we choose never to use. What do you think? Should Gandalf have unleashed the Elessar's power? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more hidden gems from Tolkien's incredible imagination.